In this video, I will be personally breaking down and destroying 3 online fitness coaches, their social media. I'll look at what they're doing well with their content, what they can improve so they can get better results, they can get more leads, more sales with their coaching business, but also you watching this video can also exponentially grow and build your coaching business. If you want your social media audited, all you have to do is DM me on Instagram saying the word audit. There'll be a chance that your social media will then get audited on one of these next videos I film for this, right? So let's dive into it. The first person we have, and I'll share my screen and talk through it. The very first person we have is Mr. Jason Goodale. So Jason does a few things really well. One of the first biggest is that he's hyper specific in his bio and in his social media who he helps exactly. So he helps busy parents lose their first 15 to 30 pounds. The reason I really like this bio is because it's super clear and it's also super problem focused, right? A lot of coaches make it a lot about themselves in their social media, in their bio. This is super clear and it also is very monetary. It's very numbers and very clear in terms of, you know, if I work with Jason, I can expect to lose 15 to 30 pounds. That's amazing because I have this exact problem. This is why this is so powerful. In terms of the profile picture itself, it's really good. The one small thing I would do, it just to me at the moment, Jason, it looks a bit like it's a selfie, so which is okay, but it can look a little bit unprofessional. A very small thing I would do if you can is maybe just have it just a touch further back, just so your hair and your whole face is visible, and potentially if you can just blur the background here just ever so slightly, just to make it pop and make it look more professional as well, would be a small thing I would do. In terms of the call to action here on the bio, it's okay. The only thing we need to keep in mind is very few people actually want coaching, they want their problem solved. So if we change this from apply to coaching to something like DM me info to find out more, for example, or DM me start to start moving forward towards losing weight, for example, whatever it might be. Obviously that's going to be too long, but anything that's a bit more specific and it's more problem solving focused still would do better. So you could do something like DM me info to find out more, or you could even do DM me start for free consult. Like I wouldn't DM me start to find out more, DM me start to get going, for example, DM me start to, you know, to achieve something, right? Or start moving towards something. I think that would do way better than what we have now for coaching. And then become the best version of yourself is okay, but it's very monetary and it's very 2015. I think everyone was saying this back in the day, right? So I think it's a bit too vague, and it's what most fitness coaches will probably be saying, right? So it's okay, but it could be stronger. So let's change become the best version of yourself to something more specific to parents. And dude, your profile and what you're doing really well is you speak directly to who you want to help. You help busy parents lose their first 15 to 30 pounds, and this is super specific, but these two are super vague. It makes no sense, right? So if we're like, I help busy parents lose their first 15 to 30 pounds, what you could do here is do for 2 pain points that people have. You know, it could be I help busy parents lose their first 15 to 30 pounds without sacrificing time with their family, as an example, could be one, and you could have a tick or a cross emoji, and without expensive dieting or without having to spend 5 days a week in the gym. We've only doing it inside 2 sessions. You have more time with your kids and with your family. An example of that would do way better on the front end. These here I'm not personally a massive fan of, especially because the Typeform, does it work? It does work, but I'm not a huge fan of, because usually when I see a Typeform, usually what people do is they make this Typeform too long and people just never kind of go through with it. What we'd be much better off doing, if possible, is kind of try and get the leads data really quickly at the start. So you might want to just have either a Calendly link just so people can book a call, which could be an option. The second thing you can do, as opposed to doing a Calendly link, you could technically also do one which is like a free lead magnet, or you could still do the same, which is like apply for coaching, but you have literally name, email, phone number, and then click submit. They submit that and then they can book a call, they can apply for coaching, right? That way round, it's super easy for people to apply, and then when you log in to your Typeform or whatever, you still pick up the data really fast. That's a really simple thing you can do there as well. In terms of content itself and what you're doing now is good. A small thing I would just say at first impressions is potentially having more direct videos, which are like you direct to camera, kind of sharing video content and helping people, would do much better, because this is okay, but I just don't think people are gonna kind of really watch for it. Actually, from what we've split tested, people actually get annoyed if it's on their explore page and it's like, why stick into a calorie deficit so hard, and then they have to read it on a video and a reel. It's quite confusing. People, it doesn't even read well. You'd be better off having this as a single picture. People can read a caption, right? That would do much better. A small thing there you can do, and then more videos content like this as well. At the moment, this type of raw content, direct to camera, no over the top editing, nothing fancy, does really well. The only thing I would do is just change this thing here to be more hook driven and more problem solving focused, right? So your scale suck is okay, it's very grabbing, but an even better kind of hook might be, do you get frustrated at your scales, or do you work hard every day but your scales still don't drop? Obviously the hook needs to be shorter, but something like that, more problem solving focus, like people are already thinking about these problems. If you just have that in front of them and they see the exact thing they're thinking about and frustrated at, you're going to get instant clicks, and you're going to get instant kind of people watching the video and instant leads, right? So that's a very easy thing you do. If you make those changes, you'd see much more lead flow coming in, and you also see your followers increasing. Let's make those changes and touch base from there. The next person we have on the list to review is Miss Amy. So Amy Edwards, right? A few big things here I'm seeing with Amy right away is I like this picture a lot. I like the fact that you're walking a walk. It's very authority driven because you're competing. It's very inspirational to people in terms of what you do. Small thing I would do though is you're wasting a ton of real estate here, because this is white and it's so small, right? I had to zoom in on my laptop just to see the picture properly, right? So we're losing so much real estate with this picture. You'd be much better off zooming this picture in so the white goes away from that profile, right? So it's just more zoomed in. Your face ideally is more visible. People buy from people. If they can see your eye contact, it'll be much easier. If you look at even some of the biggest names in the space, Hormozi's profile picture as an example, green, eye contact, smile is super obvious. Like, it's so grabbing, it's really clear, right? If we have this picture here, which is you walking a walk, maybe pin that at the top and then have a picture more like this as a display picture would probably crush even more for you in terms of pulling people in, right? Small thing here, but make a big difference. What would be much better is get rid of this ACE coaching. I get this is your business and this is what you help people with. However, ACE coaching doesn't mean anything to anyone else, so we'd want to get rid of that and be more specific with storytelling. So I would get rid of this. I'd also get rid of this online fitness coach just because we already have it here. So maybe just move online here. So it says online fitness coach at the top, your name, that's perfect. Delete all of these 3 lines, and then you can even delete this one, right? And even have something along the lines of like you storytelling a little bit about your journey and what you've done. So it could be 2-time bikini champion, now helping competitors get in the best shape possible so they can win on stage and get an amazing shape, right, as an example. Or 2-time bikini champion, now I help women get them feel their most confident selves and get in the best shape possible, right, as an example. Want to find out how you can do the same, or want to find out more, DM me style or DM me info. That would crush much more. Here, again, this is not needed. We're taking people from one social media that they like, Instagram, to another one that they maybe not use. Get rid of this one and just have one social media on here. So potentially just have your just have one link, and have the link be just to your application page. Let's hope this is done properly. Okay, this is not too bad. This is much better actually than Jason's. Jason, no offense. The only small thing I would do, Amy, if you can, or Amy, is have it where it's set up as a social media. So you have something like full name, mobile number, email. So have these 3 here, and then have it where they click submit. Once they submit, it goes into question 4, 5, 6, 7. That would crush much more, because sometimes people do the first part and they get scared. What we want to do is collect the data. So collect the full name, their mobile number, and their email. Get them to submit that, and then automatically redirect them to complete the rest. You can get much more lead flow this way round. And if someone doesn't do this, and this, you can then just drop them a text on WhatsApp or drop them an email just asking, why they didn't do it, or if they want to complete it, or what their goals are. And you can ask these questions manually as well. So that's a small thing there that make a big difference. In terms of these as well, the stories are fine. To me personally, I think they're a bit too lengthy, so maybe just have 3 on here. So have client wins, which is results, have a little bit about your story, and have maybe 1 more about client wins or interviews or something like that. That's a small thing I would do. In terms of content itself, this is fantastic. Like, this kind of content does really well, and it has potential to blow up a lot on social media. But a small thing I would do is keep doing more of this. So keep running this content, keep sharing your ideas on here like that. Perfect. But let's get you doing more video content. Ideally, you filming and talking direct to camera would do really, really well for you. So I would try and get out of your comfort zone a little bit and do video content, just sharing your expertise and just giving some value. It's a very small thing I would do, but it will really push things forward in terms of engagement, building know, like, and trust as well with your social media. That's the few biggest things I would be working on, Amy, and then that will grow things drastically moving forward as well. The very last profile we have for today in terms of social media audit is Mr. Ryan Giuseppe. Ryan does a few things really, really well, because I know we've spoken before and he's had some help. So one of the things he does really well is this profile picture is absolutely superb. It's probably one of the best we've had on these audits so far. Absolutely phenomenal profile picture. Only small thing I'd maybe do, Ryan, if you can, well, you can definitely do this, is just zoom this picture in just a touch. So maybe from here, so where the logo is, so maybe have the logo here so your face is much more zoomed in, and then make this background just a little bit brighter so it just pops a little bit more. Would be a big thing here you can do. This is fantastic. Like, you actually have this, so Ryan Giuseppe is perfect in terms of you have your Instagram at the top. Online and in-person coaching, that's perfect. There's no need to have, in my opinion, this pin, so maybe just have like a line. It's a bit easier. It seems a little bit less AI and ChatGPT wise. Would be a small thing you can do. This is perfect. Like, this is a really, really good example of an Instagram bio as well, because it's like helping men 30 plus lose their belly fat or lose their belly, build confidence, and stop hiding in photos. It speaks directly to people's problems. People want more confidence, people want to lose their belly fat, and they want to stop hiding in photos, right? It speaks directly to people's problems. So I can imagine this is getting you inquiries already, Ryan. So this is a really, really good opening line. I would just change this so that you're not a product. You are technically a service, but if you can change this to an online coach, if people search online coach, it'll be more searchable. So I would change that. And then I think this here could do more. Like, I genuinely think you've got more room to capitalize on this one to be a bit stronger. So instead of saying straight talking, no nonsense advice, I would much prefer people to build a little bit more about you and what your story is, and get people to buy into you here. So it could be, what have you achieved and why are people finding you such an inspiration, right? So for me, I talk a lot about, in my personal content, my social media, I talk a lot about the fact that I was an immigrant, didn't know any English, and built a 6-figure online business and sold over $2.5 million. I talk a lot about that just because that's probably the most interesting parts of my story, and the ones that are probably gonna want that people probably want the most, right? So what is it that you do? So it could be like 100. I've helped 100 people, 100 plus people lose the weight and get in best shape of their life, as an example, and make it a lot easier to do that. This is perfect. So interested, really clear call to action, really, really clear in terms of what you do and how, and getting people to click on this link. Only small thing is I wouldn't check this form right now, but just like the other two guys, just make sure this form here get some data quickly. So name, email, phone number, and then once you have this, literally take them straight to submitting that so you have some data. Here again, what we're missing, dude, is more content about you. Like, it's all good what you do here and how you help people, but there's not enough to get people to buy into you, because ultimately people buy from people. I would have one of these pin posts be a pin post about you. So it could be, an example could be, in case you're new here, let me introduce myself, and then you can have yourself swipe through. So you could have a picture from your younger years. You know, what were you struggling with? What did you overcome? Why did you get into fitness? Why do you coach people? And build know, like, and trust that way around as well. If you do that, it will become a lot easier to build trust here and move things forward. This content is perfect. Like, you do the video content a lot, which is perfect. Like, that's going to build a lot more know, like, and trust as well. And then a small thing as well I would recommend you doing as well, which I'm not seeing a ton, is just, again, more portraying yourself as an expert. So if you can do some two things, if you can do some videos which are carousels, so carousel bits of value. So it could be, here's a really good example of how you can do it. It could be like, want to lose a belly fat, here's what I would do, and it could be a slide carousel, and people can kind of read through the carousel to get you know, tips with following the advice and moving that forward. If you do that, it'll become way better, and it will actually be people viewing you more as an expert. The content you have now is good, but obviously sometimes if they just see talking videos like this, they can be like, you know, it's a bit lazy, the profile. There is some content on here which is good, but, you know, how can I trust someone with my money if it's just videos like this? This is just what I think sometimes can be the perception. So if we also have some content on here which is like carousels, more client wins, more carousels, and more like direct problem focused content outside of just videos, just to break this page up a little bit more in terms of different types of content, it'll crush even more, and you pull in different people that maybe don't watch this videos or don't always watch videos on Instagram, but read or like read long captions, or you know, read long captions or read the carousels. It'll do really well. If you struggle with creating this nowadays, you know, you can literally talk the idea you have in ChatGPT and ask it to turn it into a nice, easy to read caption for social media, right? So stuff like that will do really well for you. Again, if you make those changes, things will drive and grow much more as well, man. If you find this video helpful, guys, if you take a lot of value from these audits and you want your page audited next, just DM me on Instagram saying audit. The next time I film this kind of content, yours will be added to the waitlist and potentially get audited sooner as well. If you like this type of content, you want to see more, make sure to hit like and subscribe as well. And if you want to attend my next live workshop where we sit down with a handful of coaches and show them exactly how to plan and build their content to generate leads and sales for their fitness business using AI, you can register for free to attend that workshop whenever it's next live. It'll probably be within the next 2 weeks. So if you do want to attend that workshop completely for free, it's actually insane. There'll be a link for you to do that down below in the description, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.